Someone is eating dirt here. On May 25th, a vlogger in Guangdong filmed a homeless man sitting by the roadside in a green area. He was scooping up dirt with his hands and putting it straight into his mouth. It wasn't a movie or an exaggeration. It was a real scene happening on the streets in China. For many people, the phrase, "so poor you eat dirt," is just a joke. But for him, it's a way to survive. In China, people like him who fall into desperate situations are never just one or two. From cities to rural areas, from unemployed young people to street beggars, their lives are slowly swallowed by extreme poverty. A vlogger met an unemployed man at Shanghai train station. The man had his head down, searching through a trash bin for anything to eat. The vlogger asked him,
这里面都没有吃的吧?
Is there any food in here? Are you too poor to eat?
"Yes, I have no money. My phone was stolen."
How long has it been since you ate?
"A very long time. I came to Shanghai but still haven't found a job, and I lost 2 phones. I'll just have to make do like this." The man said he came from Nantong, Jiangsu. He survives by digging through trash bins for food. Sometimes, kind people deliver food and he gets a meal from them. At night, he sleeps outside on the street corner, covered with an old torn blanket he brought from home. Also in Shanghai on May 26, a vlogger shared a video showing over 10 beggars kneeling on the ground near the north gate of Renjin Hospital in Pudong. The vlogger said that since arriving in Shanghai less than a month ago, they noticed different faces begging on the street every day. The number and frequency surprised them. They wondered, where do these people come from?
我给你们看一下我平时上班的那条必经之路。
I'll show you the path I take to work every day. It's less than 300 meters total, but every day it gathers all kinds of beggars. And every day it's not the exact same people. There are always 1 or 2 beggars I haven't seen before. One time at lunch, I saw a beggar with no arms who had a bucket hanging around his neck. An old lady gave him some coins, but he shouted behind her, don't want these, scan the QR code." I turned around and saw that his bucket actually had a payment QR code attached. The old lady told him she didn't know how to scan. Honestly, this changed everything I thought I knew about begging.
In another city, a vlogger shared a video showing a 32-year-old man lying on a simple bed. Because of unemployment and hardship, he hasn't eaten a proper meal for several days and barely survives on snacks. His body clearly shows signs of malnutrition. He's so thin it's hard to look at.
32岁92年
How old are you?
32. I was born in 1992.
I see you look a bit malnourished. How many days has it been since you last ate a meal?
I have no money for food. These past few days I've only had some snacks.
Well, what can you do? What are your options?
What can I do? Like you see, there are jobs arranged here, but I can't do them, right?
To be honest, brother, you're lying here, and if something happens to you, I'll have to take responsibility. You're eating here, but your condition doesn't look normal. You say you're fine, but look how thin you've gotten from hunger. You've probably been lying here for about a week.
No problem, I won't die.
Hey, don't say things like that. Don't say unlucky words.
Have you ever been married?
No, not yet. The economic slowdown in China is becoming more obvious. The consumer market is quietly changing too. As people start to cut back on spending, more and more are living extremely frugal lifestyles.
你们知道现在消费降级到什么程度了吗？
Do you know how bad the downgrade in consumption is now? There's a new term called extreme low consumption. It means surviving with the lowest possible spending. From what we see, the era of extreme low consumption has already reached the CBD areas in first-tier cities. Now, extreme low consumption has spread into every corner of ordinary people's lives in China. In the CBD of big cities, there are 12 yuan self-serve box meals. White-collar workers bring their own lunches. In urban villages, 5 yuan fast meals are very popular with low-income people. Milk tea shops have to lower prices to compete. Haiti offers pure tea for 4 yuan. Mishui Ice City sells ice cups for 1 yuan. Even so, many milk tea shops are closing down.
各地10块钱的快剪现在是大受欢迎。
10 yuan quick haircuts are very popular everywhere. Meanwhile, high-end barbershops see a sharp drop in customers. Movie ticket sales have dropped over 40% this year. People say, unless tickets go back to 10 yuan, I won't watch movies. Recently, there was news that plane tickets from Qingdao to Harbin dropped to 98 yuan, but airlines still suffered losses. High-speed train carriages often have very few passengers, while the cheap green trains have become more popular. Last year, Pinduoduo's profits surpassed Alibaba and JD.com. You know what? This year's business isn't about being cheap enough. It's about being even cheaper to survive. Because the era of extreme low consumption and reduced consumer desire have arrived. At the same time, a special trend quietly rises. A wave of discussions about competing in poverty. People are asking why a society once eager to consume has now fallen into such an atmosphere. A vlogger from a rural village in northeast China shared her life with a mix of helplessness and humor.
比熊大赛正式拉开帷幕啊！
The poverty competition officially begins. The first thing you see is my family's main bedroom. This is our cabin, simple and straightforward, like a real rural household. This is our floor, just plain earth. This is a mirror. We have 2 potatoes at home. Let me show you where we eat in the back room. What you see first is a big pot on the stove right there. Another vlogger from northeast China posted a video saying,
妈，谁给我家拉粑粑了呢？
Some say they're poor, some say they're poor, but let me show you my home. You tell me if we're poor. When you enter, there's just one stove bed. This is my door. It doesn't close anymore. 2 big tile-roofed rooms are empty now. Tell me, are we poor or not? This stove bed, this is the back room. And this was our old cabin. These kinds of poverty competition videos sparked a lot of discussion online. They reflect not only the hardships of rural life, but also a broader feeling of social helplessness spreading across the country. It's not just rural people. Young people in cities are also expressing similar despair in different ways. One vlogger who has been unemployed for 3 months openly said she no longer wants to look for a job. In her view, the job market today offers no future.
I want to tell you, I have been unemployed for almost 3 months now. Before that, I worked for several years, so I had some savings. That helped me get through a relatively safe period. But now, I really don't want to look for a job anymore. I have changed jobs before and had breaks between, but I have never felt this unwilling to search for work.
This negative feeling of not wanting to find a job can also come from the frustration of not finding any work. The vlogger mentioned that her younger sister is about to graduate from college and has been desperately searching for a job for over a month, nearly breaking down. After browsing job listings herself, the vlogger felt very discouraged. There are few choices, and most job offers low pay, repetitive work, and no prospects. Even with work experience like hers, there's only a little room to choose, but ultimately, it's the same story, trapped in hopelessness. Another vlogger shared,
自己是个女孩子，看上去才20出头。
Do you know how hard it is for young people now?
She said one morning she took a ride in a Didi ride-hailing car. The driver was a girl who looked barely over 20. Curious, she asked, "Sis, how much do you make driving Didi each month?" The girl shared a heavy truth. After deducting costs like renting the car, rent, food, and charging, monthly expenses hit about 9,600 yuan. But the actual disposable income she takes home is only about 3,000 yuan. The girl says she wakes up at 5:30 a.m. every day to charge her car and get ready to work. She wants to try other paths, but jobs are hard to find. Last year, she graduated from college and got a job that paid 4,500 yuan a month, with no food or housing included, and required overtime and meetings. She lasted 3 months before quitting. Feeling she had let down her parents, she borrowed money to start a breakfast shop but lost over 60,000 yuan in 2 months. Finally, she had no choice but to drive for Didi to make a living. Although driving for Didi offers freedom, the girl said this job has no security. Monthly insurance costs over 1,000 yuan. She can only save about 3,000 yuan each month. If she pays insurance, she won't be able to repay her online loans. About the future, she said, "I'll just take it day by day." After getting out of the car, the vlogger felt unsettled for a long time. She looked at this young, sweet-looking girl who carried heavy debts and an uncertain future just like herself.
努力呢？现在总有人嘲讽年轻人躺平。
People often mock young people for lying flat or giving up, but no one asks why they lie flat. We always talk about being a strong nation, but who really is strong? This girl, if she drives Didi for another 3 years, I don't know if there will still be light in her eyes. I used to think the 80s generation had the heaviest burdens, supporting both elders and children. But today, seeing her and the number of graduates every year, I feel very lucky for the 80s generation. At least there were many opportunities back then. But now, where's the hope for Gen Z? It feels like every penny they earn is such hard work, and it's probably just enough to pay back online loans. They want to get married too, but they are just too poor.
Actually, China's current economic situation is no longer just consumption downgrade. It has entered a real stage of living on a tight budget. People's spending is extremely compressed and becoming a survival mode for the whole population. Many people have reduced their original mobile phone monthly fees, which used to be tens of yuan, down to the lowest plan that costs 8 yuan just to keep their number. They don't replace phones until they completely break. Shampoo and body wash are replaced by a single bar of soap for both. Laundry detergent is replaced by cheaper washing powder. At supermarkets, discounted products before closing time have become young people's favorite. People avoid spending money whenever possible and mostly shop on Pinduoduo. When sick, they endure minor illnesses and delay treatment for serious ones. The threshold for going to the hospital is no longer the illness itself, but whether they can survive to even enter the hospital. At the core, it's just surviving. But this way of life has visible consequences. Consumption stagnates. Physical stores can't survive and keep closing down one after the other. When stores close, jobs disappear. Without income, people are even less willing to spend. The economy cools further, trapping itself in a vicious cycle.
多人觉得10块钱不算什么。
Many people think 10 yuan's nothing, but for us, it's enough to buy a hot meal. Some ask if living like this makes us feel wronged. I want to say everything we have is earned by our own hard work. We don't steal or cheat. There's nothing shameful about it. I've been unemployed for over 2 months. I've gone to interviews, but the results weren't good. Now all family expenses depend on my husband alone. I almost never order milk tea or takeout. I don't go out to eat with friends unless I really can't avoid it, and those gatherings don't mean much anyway. The money for one dinner could feed us for a week. We cook 3 meals at home. Since we can't increase income, we have to cut expenses first.
Another vlogger summed it up well.
显然就经济不好。
If there's no money in your hand, you don't like spending. If no one spends, the economy suffers. When the economy suffers, jobs disappear. When jobs disappear, there's even less money. This reality has become everyday life for a local small business owner in Guangdong, who has operated for 6 years. He told the media that consumption downgrade is no longer temporary, but a new normal. Everyone silently agrees to cut spending and save. He observed that there are long lines at the supermarkets near expiry food section every day. More people only buy discounted items. Even Lunkin Coffee, known for quality and lifestyle, has joined the price war, frequently offering 9.9 yuan specials, because if prices don't drop, customers immediately leave. Local stores face harsh realities and keep closing one after another. Many try to start new businesses to fill the gaps, but new openings can never keep up with closures. He said rent prices have become unbearable. They keep dropping. Some subleases ask no transfer fees at all. Some even offer rent-free for 3 months if you lease for a year to attract new tenants. He also mentioned an old tea house in the city center that has been running for decades quietly closed at the end of last year. Another small clothing store with over 10 years of history posted a for transfer sign in December last year, but still has no buyers. These changes made him deeply feel that the winter for the physical economy has no end in sight. A video online shows a vlogger recording the scene in the city center of his city.
你知道现在经济有多差吗？给你们看一下。
You guess how bad the economy is now? Or how fake this so-called economic boom is? Do you know how bad it really is? Let me show you. It's Sunday, 6:30 p.m. Normally, at this time, on the pedestrian street in a provincial capital city, you'd expect to see lots of people, right? Let's take a look around. Yeah, there are many people here. Let's look over there. Also many people, right? So, you see, there are lots of people. But what does this prosperity really mean? Why do people say the economy is bad? Well, there are many people here, tourists and so on. But look closer. Just because there are many people doesn't mean shops are making money. Look carefully at the shops on this pedestrian street now. Do you see many empty seats? Let's check other places to eat, including the busiest spots. Yeah, people are walking around, but where is the spending? Do you see it? No matter how difficult life is for ordinary people, China's official media barely pays attention. The Chinese Communist Party has already declared poverty solved in China. At the beginning of 2021, Xi Jinping publicly announced that the CCP's battle against poverty has achieved complete victory, and China has historically solved absolute poverty. Official propaganda loudly promotes common prosperity and a moderately prosperous society. But poverty eradication is mostly superficial. Fake poverty relief projects across regions have long been criticized. State media also reported on this. For example, on April 23, 2021, CCTV reported fake poverty alleviation in Luonan, Shanghai, which became a trending topic on Weibo. Shanghai officials quickly put out the fire, claiming poverty was resolved and standards were met. Taiwanese scholar Fang Kongyang told Radio Free Asia that the CCP's claim of poverty eradication is likely just rhetoric or a political move by Xi Jinping to maintain stability. It doesn't reflect reality. She cited that China's youth unemployment rate was once very high, then data was no longer published, and later new standards were adopted, which are considered to beautify the numbers. Well-known China expert Hu Ping told the Epoch Times, the CCP's poverty standard is actually lower than the international recognized standard. According to CCP standards, a person earning about 4,000 yuan per year, roughly $600, is considered out of poverty. But the World Bank data from 2018 sets poverty as living on less than $5.50 per day. Globally, some people live on even less, $3.20 or $1.90 per day. In contrast, the U.S. poverty line in 2020 was an annual income of $12,760 per person. Hu Ping said that much of the CCP's complete poverty eradication relied on temporary measures and included many false elements. He gave an example. In many poor areas, local officials would temporarily give out some money just to make the numbers look better on paper, but this was based on fake data. Last year, Big Data China, under the Washington think tank Center for Strategic and International Studies, released a report showing that Chinese people's attitudes towards poverty have changed greatly. 10 or 20 years ago, most people thought poverty was caused by personal factors like lack of ability or effort. Now they blame unfair opportunities or economic structures. In early 2022, during the Beijing Winter Olympics, a stark contrast to the grand event appeared on Suzhou, Jiangsu. A woman was found chained for years in a broken-down house. She had been trafficked. The incident attracted online attention. Authorities ultimately pushed through a highly questioned conclusion. The deeper investigation into poverty and underlying causes of this case remained unresolved.